Is she okay?
Do you see where she hit it?
No, it's on the side of her head. They're saying she's pregnant too. Take a deep breath.
They just were shooting, and the blood just started dripping from her head. Like she's in the ambulance. Like I can't even talk right now, bro.
A young girl's life was cut short in a senseless act of violence that has left her community reeling. The emotional impact of this tragedy cannot be overstated, and as we delve into the details of this shocking event, I want to emphasize the importance of understanding the underlying causes that led to this devastating outcome. The Summit County Medical Examiner identified the victim as Tayora Harris. Akron police said Harris was inside a vehicle that was caught in the crossfire around 7:30 p.m. in the area of 1400 Rockaway Street. According to police, occupants of an older Chevy Impala started firing shots at a group of people in that area. A 19-year-old woman was hit twice in the right leg, and two men with her started firing shots indiscriminately, which is when Harris was struck, said police. Please subscribe to Crime the E-Way.
The location of your emergency?
Rockaway Street, there was just a shooting.
One after another, calls come in to Akron police, neighbors describing a terrifying gunfight.
How many shots did you hear?
Oh, I couldn't count them, honey. There was a whole lot.
I would say about close to 50.
I can hear people screaming, and I can hear them say, call the police, call the police.
Friday night around 7:30, caught in the crossfire while riding in a car on Rockaway Street is 21-year-old Tayora Harris.
I'm driving to the hospital, y'all. I'm driving to the hospital.
Sadly, despite heroic efforts, Tayora passes away at Cleveland Clinic Akron General Hospital Monday.
The family's torn apart, obviously grieving beyond words.
Akron Police Lieutenant Michael Miller extending condolences to the family Tuesday, releasing these pictures of a man with a gun and a vehicle from the scene.
In particular, we're looking for an older model Chevy Impala, silver or gray, and it's described to be between a 2003 to a 2005 or 6. And we believe that vehicle is somehow involved in this set of circumstances.
Beyond tragic, says Lieutenant Miller.
You have multiple subjects. There's some conflict. They're shooting at one another, and one of the shots struck and killed this young lady.
A 19-year-old woman was also shot in her legs and expected to recover physically. But emotionally, investigators say no one will rest easy until the suspects are caught.
Imagine if that were you. Imagine if that were your family being impacted in that way. And we just ask people to examine their consciences and their hearts. And if anyone saw anything, to please contact the police department. Our goal is to bring a sense of closure, justice to that family. Our detectives are working hard to do that.
In Akron, Suzanne Stratford, Fox 8 News.
There's now a big reward for information that leads to the killer of a pregnant Akron mother.
21-year-old Tayora Harris was caught in the crossfire, shot and killed when people started firing guns at one another in an Akron neighborhood 2 weeks ago.
It was just senseless, and she was not able to blossom into adulthood. Her life was just cut short.
Only on News 5, Bob Jones speaks with Tayora's uncle. He is now preparing for a funeral and calling for justice.
Families in a lot of turmoil because no answers have been provided. No one has been held accountable for this senseless crime.
Minister Greg Dortch is trying to find the right words following the death of his 21-year-old niece, Tayora Harris. Tomorrow, he will give the eulogy and remember Tayora as a beautiful young woman who warmed the hearts of others. She attended Garrett College in Maryland in 2018 and 2019 and played volleyball, basketball, and softball.
A sudden death, unexpected death that was senseless, taken away before her years.
Dortch says Tayora has 2 young children and was about 6 weeks pregnant when she was killed.
To my consolation, that child is still yet in the hands of God.
The tragedy unfolded on April 14th on Rockaway Street, where there are now balloons, flowers, and candles. Police say there was a shootout, more than 30 rounds fired, and Tayora, who just happened to be riding by as a passenger in a car, was caught in the crossfire and killed.
These incidents destroy people's lives, literally, actually.
Lieutenant Michael Miller says 2 young men were arrested on weapons charges, but no one has been charged with the murder. To help bring justice, Summit County Crime Stoppers is now offering a reward up to $5,000 for information leading to the killer.
And we hope this reward would motivate someone to fill in a couple missing pieces that the investigators may have.
The day after the murder, police released this neighborhood surveillance photo showing someone wearing all black and pointing a rifle. Detectives now believe that was a 15-year-old boy who fired shots that day. But police don't believe he fired the fatal shot.
It could happen to anybody. And that's the sad thing about it. It could happen to me just on my way to the grocery store.
As family members prepare to say goodbye to a young mother lost to gun violence, Minister Dortch will pray for justice, knowing he can't answer the question, why?
Only God knows. He has the answers to everything. Even the answers, even the questions that may cloud our hearts. No, God knows why.
In Akron, Bob Jones, News 5.
On a major arrest, police say they have taken a killer off the streets. After months of searching, they have finally captured a man who allegedly fired recklessly during a shootout, hitting and killing a pregnant woman. She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. 19's Noel Williams on the heartbreak and the circumstances that led to the murder.
Tiara Harris had 2 young children and preparing to welcome a 3rd baby, but her and her unborn baby's lives were stolen when she was hit in the crossfire of a shootout while riding in a car in Akron on April 14th. Akron police arrested her alleged killer yesterday, 21-year-old Jeremiah Williams, in a home on Juneau Street, just 10 minutes away from where Harris was shot in the head and died.
And every time we can get someone off the streets who's doing criminal acts, especially violence of this nature, it makes our community safer.
Police say Williams is responsible for the shooting that involved 2 different groups here on the corner of Clearview Avenue and Rockaway Street, where Harris was shot and killed. And allegedly, at least 30 rounds were fired from 3 different guns.
It's just a shame. I feel sorry for the father. Her boyfriend, is young. Didn't even get to live a life, It's terrible.
Keith Dean works across the street from where the shooting occurred, and he tells me he wants everyone involved in the shooting to be found and arrested.
The girl was pregnant, I guess, so she lost her baby. I don't know. So I guess he deserves to go to jail.
Laughlin says police are looking for others involved in that fatal shooting and hoping it puts Harris's family at ease.
Yeah, we have a victim and a family who loved her, a community that supported her, and a community that wants to be safe.
In Akron, I'm Noel Williams, 19 News.